Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Anne Manera. Welcome to today's live color along, Monday, September 16th. Today's Oil Pastels. Very exciting. My most favorite way to, my favorite product to use for coloring is Oil Pastels or chalk pastels. So this morning we are coloring a page from Color Along Volume 12. We're still working on Color Along Volume 12. We'll be working on that until October 9th, I think. October 14th. October 14th is when Color Along Volume 13 begins. So I hope you all have a chance to get Color Along Volume 13, because there are some exciting things that are going to be happening for Color Along Volume 13. Color Along Volume 13 is going to have chalk pastels, pointillism, textures, cubism. We're going to go over Mondrian in Color Along Volume 13. We're going to tackle tie-dyeing, tea-stained pages in Color Along Volume 13, doodling, impressionism, Andy Warhol, stained glass, oil pastels, bolding, warm colors, gel pens, what else is in there? Crayons and oil. You know what? I feel like Color Along Volume 13 is the best one yet. I don't know. Could it be my lucky 13 of Color Along Volume 13 being the best Color Along book yet? If you've had a chance to see the pages for Color Along Volume 13, there's a flip through. So I just wanted to talk about that before we got started today. If you are part of the Colorist Academy, then books are being shipped. I thought they were being shipped yesterday, the 15th, but it looks like I have to review a couple other things to, I had them scheduled to ship. So it looks like I'll be working on that today and tomorrow to get everything out there and make sure they're shipped by Wednesday the 18th. But it'll be in well enough time before Color Along Volume 13 begins. And fall coloring camp that's going to begin on take place on October 20th through 26th. So if you're part of the Colorist Academy, those books will be automatically shipped to you. The Color Along Volume 13 book, the fall camp book. There was a little bit of confusion about that. The other thing is that it is not too late to join the Colorist Academy. If you still want to join the Colorist Academy by, say, September, I'm doing a cutoff date of September 20th, because if you join by September 20th, which is Friday, then you'll be able to get Color Along Volume 13 and Color Along and the camp book. You know, that's a jam-packed membership. And we had someone join the other day, and she said to me, I didn't realize how much that membership had in it. It's jam-packed. So, and if you've already purchased the camp book or the Color Along Volume 13 and you still want to join the Colorist Academy, get in touch with me, because we can still make that happen for you. And I have something else that I'll give you an extra book so that you can make up for the Volume 13 book and the camp book. Does that make sense? So there's still ways to do that, because not only do you get those books with that Colorist Academy membership, for $25 a month. Every time there's a camp or every time there's a color along, you get those books automatically shipped to you, not only in hard copy, but you also get the PDF. So you have both. The other thing that you get with that Academy membership is every month we have an arts and craft class, and this Saturday is the next one that's coming up, and we'll be working on these vintage masking tape bottles. We've done word boxes, we've painted rocks, we've drawn mandalas, we have done journal covers, and we'll be doing a fall wreath coming up in October, Christmas ornaments, a painting coming up in December. Then I also have a 20% off discount for PDF pages or PDF books on my website as part of that membership, and you get 10 PDF coloring pages every month, plus the 2 Draw Live pages. So Draw Live is actually this Thursday, so that's my next Draw Live session. And you get a private Facebook group that we're in. We're all in together for a private Facebook group. So if you're interested in joining that Colorist Academy, that's what I wanted to say about that today. This isn't going to be a sales pitch. I don't like my color alongs to be a sales pitch. I work hard at them not being a sales pitch. So we are going to get started with coloring. So let's get down to business. But before I crack open my oil pastels, I need to say good morning to everyone. So good morning, Alice. Hey, Chris. Good morning, Mary and Mary Ann. Bonnie Hughes. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Trish. Who else has joined us this morning? Good morning, Lisa. How's it going? Good morning to Jean Mellinger. How are you, Jean? Heather Berger's joined us this morning. Good morning to Heather. Alexandria, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for sharing that, Alexandria. I saw that you shared it a couple of times. Good morning to Cheryl. So how is everyone this morning? What is going on? Anything new and exciting happening on this Monday? I am using, this is an easy color long, easy peasy with stunning results. And that's what the best part about coloring with something that is easy to color, and it gives good results. To me, that's like the sweet spot of coloring, right? You color, hey Karen, you color something that is easy to color. It looks like it's difficult, but it's really not difficult. And then at the end, you get to have really stunning results. So complicated is just not my style. I don't really like complicated. Thanks for sharing that, Mamie. I appreciate it. Feel free to share this video out on your Facebook page, Facebook coloring groups. I tried something new this morning. I created a pin on Pinterest with a link to this. So I don't know if it's going to work or not. I've been kind of playing around with Pinterest. And I'm using Crayola or COPPA Expressionist Oil Pastels. This is a 36 pack. These are made by Sakura COPPA. These also come in a 12 pack or a 24 pack for a very extremely low price. And a lot of people are a little turned off by the price and they think it's a terrible product. However, you can never go wrong with the Sakura product. And COPPA, you can never go wrong with a COPPA product, in my opinion. This set, Expressionist, has a really nice, interesting selection of colors. And the other thing that it has is the oil pastel is a little bit thicker, fatter than the COPPA Junior Edition. So I don't know why I pulled these out of the drawer, but I just said, hey, why not? Hey, exhaustion, tiredness, laziness, it's a Monday. Hey, Trish, what's the matter? Did you party too much this weekend, Trish? I think maybe, right? So this page is a grayscale illustration page, and it's called, from my book called Simple Objects, Grayscale Illustration Coloring Book. And when I drew this book is it's Simple Objects. There's two versions, two volumes, or two different books that are in this style. The other one is just called Still Life, Grayscale Illustration Coloring Book. And I love drawing these. Thanks, Trish. Love drawing these. And I want to show you some of the pages that are in this actual book and talk to you about how they were, I don't know, how they came to be, how they were born. What did I do? Love the price. Oh, we're recovering from the full moon. No kidding, huh, Chris? Did you have any crazies enter your world? Did you experience anything like that? This is like chalk it up to the full moon, and this is the kookiest thing that could have happened. Pretty crazy people around. Huh? I went to the supermarket on Friday night. I don't usually go to the supermarket on a Friday night for some reason. I don't know why I was there. I was starting to think by Saturday that maybe the full moon was affecting me, and maybe I was being just as much of a kook as everyone else. I don't know. Maybe everyone was rubbing off on me. I don't know. Hey, good morning, Beth Turner. Hey, Heather. So this book, when I drew this book, I did it with chalk pastels. And, let me see if I have the actual original drawings. Usually Scarlett can get me something, but let me take a look here. Scarlett, do you know what I did with that book? Scarlett says, I have no idea. Do you ever talk to your dogs? Sometimes you gotta talk with them. So this is how this book came to be. I don't know if this is the right book or not, the right sketchbook. But here are the drawings from, I don't know if this is the first one or the second one. I think this is the second one. Boxes. Are there boxes in this one? I think this is the second one. This might be the one I'm talking about. The one with the green cover. But this is how they were born. So I created them with chalk pastels and just any funky color that I wanted to pull out myself. So here's my chalk pastel drawings. Very, very simple. And then once they were done, I scanned them into the computer, and then I took away the color and turned them into a grayscale page. So now you're able to color on top of the page that's in the coloring book, but these are the ones that are in color. These are my original drawings. We don't know who that is. Rachel from Card Services. Or how about the woman who calls me from the Cancer Research Center? Okay, I'm not knocking what she's calling me for, but man, she sounds terrible. I thought it was a witch on the phone. I said, is this a Halloween prank? She just had a terrible voice. So these are my originals. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I've thought about framing them. I've thought about selling them as prints. I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet. So those are my originals from the Simple Objects coloring book. So to color these is just like coloring a grayscale photograph page or a grayscale illustration page. Hey, Tina, haven't seen you in a long time. And you basically just follow along with the lights and the darks in the actual page. So I'm going to start off with some green for this bottle right here. And I think I'm going to go with this color and this color. Now, oil pastels blend really well together. So I'm just going to color along this bottle. And if I use the same pressure, then the lights and the darks in the photograph or in the grayscale in the illustration will actually bring the page to life. So does anybody have this book that they're coloring from? And I'm going to use kind of a colorless blender. We talk about colorless blenders all the time, right? We talk about maybe white when we're using colored pencil. And what ends up happening is that a colorless blender is something that is either a neutral color or is white. And it basically blends the color without adding color to it, aka coloring colorless blender. Alexandra, I know I'm ignoring your phone call. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Dawn, what's going on, my friend? So we are adding this greenish color here, and I'm adding a few different colors. And then I'm going to come on over to this light area. Can you tell I have a frog in my throat? Oh, it's crazy. I feel like one of those like people that might, like, you know, those old people that would say, do you think you can pass me a butterscotch or a little bit of a hard candy? You know? You know when that happens, right? Come on, we've all been there. All right, so this is kind of my greenish color there. So see how this just is kind of, it's just kind of blending on its own. I'm blending the oil pastels just kind of into one another, into each other. I'm not really doing anything else. This is a nice book, Beth. I think you would like it. Simple Objects. And then there's Grayscale Illustration. I need to do another one of these books in this, draw it in this style, because this is my most favorite way to draw a coloring book. I usually just kind of get that little sketchbook. The pages are a little smaller. And I just keep going. Page after page after page. It's like it's addicting. So I'm using this kind of peachy color as my now look how that just blended. So colorless blender, there it goes right there. My coloring handbook volume 2 is in the works, and I'm going to have a section in there about using the white pencil as a blender. But you know, maybe I need another section about colorless blenders. You know, blending with a colorless blender. And what is all the hoopla about a colorless blender? Like, what does it even mean? Now you can also just kind of take, I just use my fingers just to kind of blend it in, push it into each other, push the color right into it. And look how that just kind of comes to life. And I just basically follow the lights and the darks. But, you know, oil pastels are so forgiving that they just really, I don't know, I think you could just do a lot with them, even more than a chalk pastel. I think I like them better than a chalk pastel. Now for this, the label, I'm going with yellow. It's going to be a nameless bottle of vino. We're not going to give it a name. All right, Scarlett. Scarlett has decided to kind of hang out at my feet today. So here's just a little bit of this orange color. Orange. You guys see my sweatshirts and t-shirts on Amazon that say orange? Orange. Do you guys see that? What are you cooking, Dawn? Anything delicious? I feel like I ate breakfast like eons ago. What time is it? 10 o'clock? Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm ready for lunch. So there's that yellow. See how this white is just blending that all together? And you can kind of just like scribble it on any which way. But it just kind of, hey Karen, it just typically blends together. And now for the center one, I think I'm going to go with maybe this kind of fancy little red-orange color. Does these even have names on them? Yes, Vermilion Hue is what it's called. But I think it would be a nice contrast between the color of the bottle and the label of the bottle. So when this page is completely colored, it really doesn't even look like, you can't even tell that it was a grayscale illustration page. So the drawing in this coloring book, in this grayscale illustration coloring book, is really just kind of your guide. So it's like it's like guided coloring. Does that make sense? It's not really, you're not really doing anything. It's just that you're kind of saying, okay, well, this is where I'm supposed to put the dark. And now this is where I'm supposed to put the light. This part should be a little bit lighter. So it reminds me of, I don't know what it reminds me of, actually. I don't know. Scarlett, what do you think it reminds me of? Scarlett's not saying much today. I'm going to put some orange on top of this. And then a little bit of orange in the middle here. But I'm going to go back in to this section with my white. And then I'm going to pop some more orange here. And again here. But now keep in mind, this section and this section are going to be the lightest. So I'm going to go back in with some white. Did you crack up with that sweatshirt? You know, I said to myself, Chris, you know, other people are going to see this and they're going to say, what the heck does this even mean? But, you know, I was thinking of doing other ones that maybe said, like, I don't know, texture, yesterday, you know, tomorrow, stuff like that. Really like a play on words. I could do one for Alexandria for you, Alexandria, and I could put orange dollar escalator. Right? It's kind of funny. Now for this bowl, or whatever this object is, I guess it's a bowl. Let's put something else too. I was going to add silver, but you know, silver would be like adding glitter. We don't want to add glitter. Are you a glitter person? Do we have any glitter people in the that are watching today? All about adding glitter. Some people are all into glitter. So there's that. This can also be considered a colorless blender also. This one is called Salmon Pink. So a neutral color would be a colorless blender. Now look what it's doing. This is giving a really good demonstration of colorless blender. I am kind of pushing it into those white spaces, but the color isn't really changing as much. So it's just kind of, it's blending what is there. I hope I'm making, I'm giving a good explanation of what a colorless blender is without being condescending. No, seriously, because, I mean, really, literally, colorless blender just simply means there is no color to what you're using. So now I'm going to add just a kind of a tiny bit of this darker color, which is called sepia, kind of just on the edge. I'm not going to outline it, because you know what I always say about grayscale. Don't outline objects in grayscale, because it will start to look like nothing's outlined in the real world, right? And I'm kind of giving it a little bit of a sepia color in this darkest point here. So when you think about this page, imagine that there's like a light source coming from this upper right-hand corner here. And when that light source is actually coming, it's shining down. And where is the light hitting? So a light may be hitting here. Whoops. Or maybe hitting here or here. And my Color Along Volume 12 book is, Volume 12. Coloring Handbook Volume 2 is going to have a section about the light source. And this part right here is not getting any light, so that's like the darkest portion of it. Karen says she loves glitter. So does Beth. So does Mary Ann. You need to say that. Lisa says you need one that says, let's give it a quick sharpen. Oh, that would be a good one. Let's give it a quick sharpen. I feel like I say that like because I want to warn people that the pen. I'm gonna write that down. All right, I'm writing it down. I can only write and write. I can't talk and write at the same time. Now what the heck was I gonna say? Oh, I only say let's give it a quick sharpen because I don't want people to think, oh my God, what's that noise? piece of the pencil sharpener. You know what I mean? So thank you, Karen. The bowl is popping, isn't it? So now I'm just going to, now I could just leave it the way it is, or I could just easily use my fingers here to just kind of get rid of that. It kind of looks hairy right here. So I want to just smooth it out a little bit. But see, just adding that one little tiny line, black line. And, you know, sometimes you don't have to highlight something, but instead you have to low light it. So what that means is that, for example, look at this bottle right here. See how it's dark back behind the bottle? Let me see if I can find the original drawing from this book for this particular page that we're working on. Because I want to show you something about how these were drawn, and maybe that will kind of give a really, I think that will give a good understanding about, or a good explanation about creating shadows and how to make something look a little bit more 3D. Yeah, well, pivot, that would be a good one. I don't know if I can do pivot, though. That might be a Friends thing. I could say pivot the page. Hang on, we're pivoting, right? It's so funny, isn't it? It's kind of funny. All right, so take a look at the way this is drawn. All right, now if you take a look at this bowl, for example, on this side of the bowl, this is light, and on this side, it's dark. Now, on the bottom portion of the bowl, it's the opposite. This part is dark here, and this part is light. Same thing with this. See the inside of this vase right here? This part is dark here, and then it gets light on this part of this is called the ellipse. And then underneath, on the underside of that rim of the top of the bottle, or the vase, then it's dark here, but it's light here. And that's giving it the illusion of maybe something that's a little more three-dimensional and giving you a lot of different color. And that I put that in there like that so that it would actually guide you. Now, if you take a look at behind the bowl, even in this original drawing and in this page that's in this coloring book, this is dark here and here and here. And what that is going to do is by creating that darkness behind the items, you're low lighting it. You're lighting it. You're giving it a dark. You're darkening it from under the underside of it. So think of it like if you were coloring your hair and you wanted to have highlights, and you would have different strands of hair that were highlighted versus something that was lit up, something that was darkened. So you want to go with the dark section. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's confusing or not. I hope not. I don't know if I should go with this color. Yeah, this is a good one. All right. So I'm going to just kind of use this darker kind of turquoise color back here. And just by using the same pressure, you could do this page with colored pencils or chalk pastels too, actually. And always using the same pressure, because it just really gives you the opportunity to understand where the lights and the darks are, just by following along. So rather than outlining the object, I'm putting a darker background, and that is making it look like that bottle is, not that it's outlined, but does this make sense? Should I clarify my explanation? I feel like maybe I'm not clarifying it, or I'm confusing myself. Do you ever feel like you confuse yourself with stuff? Put a little bit of yellow right there. And then let's jump back over with, I guess I'm going to go with this brown color here, which is called brown, appropriately named. Give it a little bit of a, there we go, a little bit of a, there we go, right? I didn't realize I said all these crazy things, huh? It's kind of funny. And then again here, I can get that sepia color that we had. Well, this is called Van Dyke Brown. What an interesting name. And I'm going to just kind of give it a very light line. Not even the whole thing. Maybe like right there, right there. So I'm not really giving it an outline as much as I'm just kind of like accenting what's there. If you're a person that colors grayscale, I think you kind of know what I mean about this, right? Now I'm going to take this blue, which is called Prussian blue. Oh, I love this color actually. And mix that in. Scribble, scribble, right? Mix it in with this. go back with my what is this called? Viridian Hue. That's what it's called. Viridian Hue. So tiny. Not the letter's tiny on these products. I'll tell you. I have to refresh my comments here. Okay. And then I'm going to continue back with this. And then we've got this bottle here. And I want to do kind of a I don't know, maybe like a yellowish, goldish. Let's go with orange. Let's go with this color, which is actually called yellow orange. Orange. Yellow orange. See, now you've got me saying it the right way, which I don't like. But really kind of blast it in there. Kind of almost this color and this color. This yellow color that's in the label. And that'll bring my eye from here to here. It's the other thing. Placement of colors. Oh, that's a good topic for the coloring handbook, isn't it? The placement of colors. Movement. Like, how do you get your eye to move around a page? The rhythm. That's called the rhythm. A form of rhythm. Let's go with this kind of lightish yellow here. The darker shadows behind the items give them a three-dimensional look. Exactly, Dawn. Thank you. Dawn just summed up what I was trying to say. And I call it low light. I mean, do you think that's the right word? Is there like a... Maybe there's another word. I've always just kind of call it low lighting. The light from behind. Like you're giving it something from behind. Okay, here's this yellow-orange color again. And then I'm going to go back in with some white on this also. Just to kind of blend it in there. And then this one's, we don't want that color. Do we want that color? What is that color? I'm going to go with this Van Dyke brown color again. And let's give this kind of a blend. We want to blend it in between those two. Rather than, we don't want it to look too hairy. You know, scratchy. Scratchy, scratchy. Now remember I put this brown color into this upper corner here. I'm going to do the same thing here. Because that's kind of like the darkest corner. It's like the dark alley. Boy, I'm watching too much crime TV, I'll tell you. I've been watching Blue Bloods too much. I'm starting to understand, like, the police terminology terms, like forthwith. Is anybody else watching that show? Blue Bloods? I don't know what's happening to me. I need to start watching something a little more lighthearted, rather than watching crime. Okay, see how that just kind of blends right there? Look how that just kind of darkened it. Not bad. And then let's go back to this color here, which is this Viridian Hue. What a crazy color. Crazy name for a color. Now, see, the also is going in the direction of the object. Kind of makes it look like more of a three-dimensional look also. And again, here's the darkest portion. It's the dark alley of the coloring page. Forthwith. What is that word? What does it even mean? Does it mean like ASAP? Like right now? Marianne, your son's a cop. What does that mean? Forthwith. They do sound ridiculous. They sound like they're saying a word that they don't really know. You know what that reminds me of when somebody uses a big word and they don't really know why they're using it. Yeah? You know what I'm talking about, Lisa? It's like when they use a word like, I can't even think of the word now. And they don't really know. Oh, I know what it was. One time I was talking to this person. I don't know what the heck we were even talking about, but I think that they were a real estate agent. And I guess they had discovered the word fiduciary all of a sudden. And they just were just like constantly saying that word. And I'm thinking to myself, do you really even know what that word means? Because it's like you're just throwing around a 10-cent word of the day. I know, isn't that awful? that I'm even saying that. I sound like a terrible person saying that. Really, I'm not making fun of people. All right, so this is my Prussian blue color going back over. Why don't they just say like ASAP or right away or do not pass go? Because that must be what it means, right? I don't know. All right, we've got this pale green color, and I'm going to go back in with this pale green color. And again, this is going to kind of blend it, kind of not. Blend it. This, again, another kind of version of a colorless blender. Blending on top of these. And I'm going to go back in with these and use my fingers to kind of push the color into itself or into one another, each other. So just kind of blending that into one another. And put some white in the whitest portions of this. Kind of looks a little like, oh my God, this looks like Scribble Scribble. My 5-year-old did this type thing, right? But once you blend this with your fingers, or you could use a colorless blender, if you don't want to get it on your hands. It's non-toxic. I don't use anything that's not non-toxic. It'll start to look amazing. Forthwith means immediately. Thank you, Dawn. I thought so. Like immediately, right? ASAP. I think they do sound kind of crazy. Maybe they're trying to sound smart. Maybe. I don't know, Alice. Do you watch that show, Alice? I gotta find something else to watch. Because I don't know. It's taking up an awful lot of my time. Plus, it's a long... It has a lot of episodes. The other one I've been watching lately is Last Chance U. Has anyone seen this? It's a reality documentary style... I think it's like a docuseries. About these football players that are kind of like it's their last chance to go to this college and become a football player, and it kind of follows them. You know, has anyone watched this? It's actually very good on Netflix. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to start from this bottom section here where there is, and I've got to get rid of this little corner bug, as they call it, with that, you know. Or maybe I can just do this. Leave the corner bug. All right, so this portion right here, I'm going to pull up, blend up, and go around. Look how it's kind of changing colors as I pull up. What's the matter, Paisley? What's wrong, honey? You have to go outside? Okay, hang on. I've got to let Paisley outside. What does forthwith mean in police terms? Oh, good. Dawn's got an explanation. Forthwith is code for emergency in both the FDNY and NYPD. When a cop calls a signal 1085 forthwith on himself, it usually means he's in a world of trouble. So it's only New York that uses forthwith? How about this? I think that they don't say it with a New York accent. Did you notice that? I've got to let Paisley outside. Hang on. Come on. Scarlett. Excuse me, Scarlett. Does anybody else say excuse me to the dog? Excuse me, Scarlett. Okay. So this just kind of blended in, so it's kind of around that. Look at the difference. Do you see the difference there? With do you watch it sometimes, Alice? I don't know. Gotta find something else, maybe that's a little more lighthearted. I don't know what else to watch. So many shows about crime, isn't there? I think that this is actually starting to look like a painting. That's what I love about oil pastels. It ends up looking more like a painting than anything else. So that drawing behind it all just becomes a complete guide. You would never really even know this was a coloring page. And I think that that is what is really incredible about it. About the effect, the results that you get with a grayscale illustration page. More than photograph. Even more than photograph, I think. What do you all think about that? Does anyone else feel like that too? That it's actually better with, like which one gives you more stunning results? All right, so now we've got the table. I don't know what color the table should be. I'm kind of thinking it could be this brown color, but I want to reserve my brown for, I want to reserve the brown for my shadows and highlights. So I'm going to see what happens if I go with just straight orange. So I'm just going to use the same pressure, and then I'm going to bring in that brown color and maybe a white along the edges here where I want it to be at the lightest. I feel like I like the background the best. I thought there was a gold color. There is. This is called yellow ochre. This is an excellent blending color. An excellent color to use as a colorless blender in any product. Yellow ochre or ochre. Look how that's just kind of blending the orange right there. To kind of be smooth without being invasive. I guess that's the word. A lot of coloring products have, or sets have, an ochre or a yellow ochre color, and this is really a really good color to kind of pull in all that, to blend everything together. It's kind of like my go-to color for my colorless blender. Now here's my Van Dyke brown, and I'm going to kind of put it where the darkest corners of the, the dark alleys of the coloring page exist, where the dark alleys lie. And I could kind of go like this over to the side to kind of make that a shadow. Because again, I want to kind of low light what's happening there. If I put a little bit of a line on the underside of this vase, this sepia color also, kind of put a line underneath there. We'll make it look like it's sitting. And then even in this corner on the underside of the kind of the wall, I'm going to add a little bit of that. And then on the underside of this bowl. It's almost like painting with your fingers when you kind of like really jump into it. Here's again the dark alley of the coloring page right here. And then here's a little bit dark on this side, but not, I want to make it so that you really kind of see that, where that vase just, or the wine bottle just kind of sits there. And then I'm going to take a little bit of white. Where is my white? There you go. Grayscale looks so professional, and it's not hard to do. Exactly, Mary. You've got it. Hit the nail on the head, Mary. I mean, you could hang this like it's a painting, And don't tell anybody. Treat it like it's the pie you bought at the store, and you popped your little, when you buy the blueberry pie at the supermarket, and then you come home and you put the little, what's that little thing that you stick in the middle of a pie so you know it's done? Put it in your own bakeware. Have family say, "Ooh, this is delicious. I made it myself." Does anybody do that? I've never done that, but I kind of wish I did. I'm gonna get a little bit of something on here, a little bit of something in this corner. Felt like it was lacking. Kind of push that into there because I saw some white spots that I really didn't like. And then as far as this, I feel like I need to have a little bit of a lighter section here. So I'm just going to kind of add some white to this section, kind of just a scribble, and then go back in with a clean finger and just kind of blend that, blend that through. I'm starting to get the hiccups. Let's find our sepia color. Oh, this is Van Dyke. I don't want you. Take a break, sepia, Van Dyke. I'm going to go with sepia. And I'm just going to kind of give it a little line right there. Just kind of a little bit. I'm going to blur it a little bit so you can just barely see it. Very rustic, very fresco style. Remember we went over fresco style coloring. I am using, Sandra is asking what brand I'm using. I'm using COPPA Expressionist Oil Pastels. And this is a 36 pack. And you can also buy this in 24 pack or 12 pack, but it's called COPPA Junior Edition. Very, very inexpensive. It's like $5 change or something. It's very, very cheap for the 12 pack, or the 24 pack is a little bit more than that. But you got to keep them sealed, because if not, they will dry up if they're really old. Just kind of giving it a little bit, kind of playing around with a little bit of adding some darker sections to the undersides of my objects. I think I might frame this. It'd be good on a card. I don't know what kind of an occasion would get a card like this, but this would make a good placemat, wouldn't it? This would make a good placemat. That would be cool. Or maybe like a tapestry to hang on a wall. Or just in a frame. So that's it. Simple pimple, right? Easy, easy, easy. Easy peasy. And I would just kind of put another piece of paper over this inside my book. Or I would let it sit so it can cure. So oil pastels do not really dry. I mean, you can touch them and they're wet. They're kind of sticky. You could kind of rub your fingers on them and you're going to get it on your hands. But basically, oil pastels cure. So leave it open, let the air get to it, and it will just kind of cure, and just like oil paint. The cool part about oil pastels, with these COPPA oil pastels anyway, is that they have no odor. As opposed to some oil-based pencils kind of get to me a little bit. You know, I don't know, Mary. Mary's asking a really good question. What is the best sharpener to use for pastel sticks? I don't really know. I think that the only thing that I would probably use, because you can't really stick this in a pencil sharpener, but if you really want to have that fine point or a tip that is sharper than what is on here as you start using them, then the best thing to do would be to just take a razor blade or an X-Acto knife and just cut it. Let me see if I can do that to one of these. Let me see if I have a blade in here. So I would just kind of take an X-Acto knife, for me, be careful, obviously, and then see if there's one. For example, this one is kind of getting close to the paper, right? So I would just kind of rip off the paper a little bit. I should have done it to the other end, actually, so I'll know what color that is. Let's kind of make a point on this, right? So I'm going to take the paper off, peel it, kind of like you would a crayon. And then you could basically shape this in any way you want. I mean, just please be careful. Don't try this at home, you know. And you can kind of just slice it off. And really, you could kind of save this. I'm going to save it. But you could slice it off so it has more of a chisel tip, and maybe it has a little bit of a point. But that's really the best way to do it. You're not going to be able to pop it into a pencil sharpener because it's just not going to fit, and it's just going to make it into mush. What pastels are you using, Mary? So what other questions does anybody have about oil pastels, or the page that we've colored today, or other pages that we're going to be coloring, or color alongs in general? Like I said earlier, Color Along Volume 12, which is what we're working on now, ends in October. We only have a couple of weeks left for Color Along Volume 12. If I can find the little schedule that I had. I thought I had a schedule in this book. Here it is. We've got, let's see where we are. Where we're at, man. Right? Oil Pastels. We've got layering colors next week, next Monday. And we've got blend and shade following Monday. And then we have grayscale illustration again on the 7th. We'll be using probably just colored pencils for that on October 7th. And then take a look over here. We're going back up to this on October 9th, which is a Wednesday. And then this just a number 2 pencil one. I'm not sure about the date on this, but I'll have to find the date for that. Trish, funny. If I can't try at home, where can I try? Outside in emergency room, just in case you cut yourself. How about that? We don't want to have anyone bleeding. How about the day that I did use that X-Acto knife and I did cut myself on while I was live on camera? It was crazy. So that's what's happening. That is what's happening with today's color along. Be sure to post your finished page. What else has happened? All right, so this book ends like October 9th-ish, right? Then October 14th is when we begin Color Along Volume 13. Coloring Camp is October 20th to the 26th. If you are part of the Colorist Academy, then those books are scheduled to ship. They were scheduled to ship yesterday, but I don't know. I looked and something happened. I don't know what happened. So I'm looking into that today and getting that all rectified and making sure those are definitely out by Wednesday the 18th at the very latest. But everyone will have those in well enough time for both the Color Along date of October 14th and camp. So do not purchase those books if you're in the Colorist Academy. If you want to still join the Colorist Academy and be able to take advantage of the camp book and the next Color Along book, you need to do that by September 20th so we can make sure we get that book to you. Mary says, I'm using chalk pastels now. Last night I was using oil. I broke my sharpener on chalk pastels after a few weeks ago. If you have chalk pastels sticks, I wouldn't put them in the pencil sharpener. Maybe the pencil sharpener just has something stuck inside it, because that happens to me with the chalk pastel pencils that I've sharpened. I do kind of live on the edge and try to sharpen those in an electric pencil sharpener, which every time I do it, I regret it, because every single time a little piece of it breaks off inside the sharpener, and it's just not a good situation. So what was the next thing we were talking about? This Saturday is the arts and crafts class for the masking tape bottle, which is open to anyone that can sign up for that class. Anyone can be part of that. But if you're part of the Colorist Academy, it's automatically part of your membership. Draw Live is on Thursday, which is this Thursday the 19th at 10 a.m. And that's it. That's all that's happening this week. I'm working on a couple of books this week. Still working on the Coloring Handbook Volume 2. I'm working on a Christmas book. I'm working on another book. I don't know what I'm drawing on Thursday, but that'll probably be a new book. And that's about it. I hope everyone's having a great is going to have a great day today. Be sure to post your finished page from today's Color Along in the Color Along 12 group and on just different Facebook groups, and or tag me on Instagram too. And that's about it. Hey, have a great day, everyone. Thanks so much for joining today. Hey, Melody, we're just ending, but Melody's just joining us. So take a look at the schedule for, if you need the schedule for Color Along Volume 13, you want to see what that's going to be. I think it's the best one yet. I think it's the best Color Along book yet. It's the Lucky 13, I guess. I think it's jam-packed with a lot of information, a good variety of information. I can't believe I've done 13 volumes of them. Isn't it great, Melody? I think I'm going to hang it up. I think I'm going to frame it and hang it. I'm going to tell people I painted it. It's like the pie. Mary Ann is giving us some information. I asked my son what forthwith means. He is a lieutenant in the New York NYPD. It means right away. Like, chop chop, right? I guess if they said chop chop, it wouldn't be good. Oh, Melody's babysitting. She must be getting big, Melody. I knew that meant lieutenant, Marianne. I can read Facebook typo. I can read typo in comments. LEI tenant, meaning lieutenant. Okay, you guys. Hey, I am going to go wash my hands, first of all, because they are crazy. Definitely watch this replay. Have a great day, everyone. Hey, you're welcome, Trish. You're welcome, Sandra. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone. I will see everyone again on Thursday at 10 for Draw Live. Hey, have a great day. See ya.